Welcome to the latest edition of Football News. Today, we have some blazing transfer rumors and major events that could reshape European football. Manchester City is ready to part ways with key stars. Guardiola is planning a massive rebuild. Who will leave the club this summer? Chelsea is targeting the Catalan market. The Londoners are prepared to spend $200 million on Barcelona players. Can they pull off this transfer? Is Real Madrid at risk of losing Ancelotti? What circumstances could force the Italian manager to leave Los Blancos? Marcus Rashford wants to join Barcelona. Can he prove he's worthy of a top club? Manchester United is sinking. Their latest defeat has pushed the Red Devils to the bottom of the table. What's next for the coach and the squad? Mohamed Salah changes his mind. The Egyptian has unexpectedly reconsidered his move to Saudi Arabia. What made him stay at Liverpool? We are talking about this and much more today. This is a hot selection of the most interesting football news. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and like this video to get more news about our favorite game. Your support is very important to us. Let's get started. El Nacional has published a bold headline. Pep Guardiola is ready to part ways with 3 key Manchester City players this summer. According to sources, the club is planning a major squad overhaul, and among the potential departures are Bernardo Silva, Ilkay Gundogan, and Kevin De Bruyne. Both City's management and Guardiola himself believe that it is time to say goodbye to the old guard to speed up the team's rebuilding process. But the surprises don't end there. Phil Foden has also made it onto this list. Not long ago, Real Madrid showed interest in signing him, with his transfer valuation reaching $150 million at the time. However, the situation has changed since then. This season has not been as impressive for Foden as the previous ones, and despite his market value still standing at $140 million, City might consider selling him if they receive a worthy offer. There is a growing sense within the club that Foden may have already peaked, and if they are to part ways with him, now is the time, while his price remains near its highest point. If he is truly unable to improve further, this summer might be the last chance to sell him for a significant amount. But the key question remains. What does the future hold for Phil Foden? Will he establish himself as a vital player for City? Or could he follow the same path as Mason Mount, who struggled to adapt after leaving Chelsea for Manchester United? This transfer saga is shaping up to be one of the most talked about stories of the summer. Chelsea is preparing for a major move in the transfer market and has set its sights on 2 key Barcelona players. Despite having an almost fully assembled squad, the London club is not planning to slow down. This means that Milan will likely receive a few more players on loan in the near future, as has already become a tradition. According to Spanish media reports, the Blues are ready to spend more than $200 million to sign 2 players from the Catalan club. The first on the list is Marc Casado. Back in January, Chelsea attempted to negotiate his transfer, but the deal fell through. The reasons behind the failed move were not disclosed, but the club's interest in the player has not waned. Sources suggest that the English club will reopen negotiations in the summer. Naturally, Barcelona wants to keep their academy graduate, especially since he has already become an important part of Hansi Flick's system. The midfielder's market value is estimated at $30 million. But his contract includes a buyout clause of $100 million. If Chelsea decides to trigger it, there will be nothing the Catalan club can do to stop the transfer. Given how freely Chelsea spends money, this scenario seems quite possible. The second player, according to Sport, is Jules Kounde. Chelsea is also prepared to offer $100 million for him. However, unlike Casado, the situation here is completely different. Neither the player nor Barcelona is eager to part ways. Of course, the Blues might try to lure the Frenchman with a more lucrative contract, but there are no signs that he is interested in leaving. Unlike Casado, whose salary at Barcelona is relatively low, Kounde is already earning a solid wage, meaning Chelsea would have to offer a significantly higher salary to convince him to move. What makes this situation particularly ironic is that 2 years ago, Chelsea already tried to sign Kounde. But at that time, Barcelona outbid them by offering the player better terms. Now the roles have reversed. The English club is ready to pay far more than his actual market value, which currently stands at $60 million. Historically, such high transfer fees for defenders are quite rare. So if Barcelona truly wants to cash in on Kounde, Chelsea's offer might be too tempting to refuse. Chelsea continues to display a chaotic transfer strategy. The club signs players without a clear long-term plan, occasionally putting together solid performances but still struggling to achieve consistent success. A move to London seems like a questionable decision for Kounde, since Barcelona appears to have a brighter future in terms of achieving major success. Unless Chelsea offers him an outrageously lucrative contract, making it impossible to refuse, or Barcelona decides that $100 million is too good of an offer to pass up, there is still no certainty that this deal will actually go through. Carlo Ancelotti may leave Real Madrid sooner than many expect. The Italian coach remains in charge, but his future largely depends on the outcome of the current season. At the moment, Real is still competing for 3 major trophies: La Liga, the Champions League, and the Copa del Rey. The team is leading the domestic championship, has already reached the semi-finals of the Copa del Rey, and, after a 3-2 away win against Manchester City, is in a favorable position in the Champions League. However, this is still no guarantee of success. The return match against City could be the ultimate test. If Guardiola's team takes the field with the same intensity they showed against Newcastle, Madrid could face serious problems. Yes, Real knows how to grind out victories in the Champions League. It's their tournament. But even that does not hide some obvious issues. The team's form is far from ideal. Injuries have taken a serious toll on the defense, but that cannot be the only excuse. There are also questions about Ancelotti's management. He does not always use his resources effectively, and his tactical decisions sometimes seem predictable. At times, it appears that the Italian coach has no backup plan, relying solely on the individual brilliance of his attacking players. Yes, the comeback against City was a spectacular moment, but let's be honest, it was largely due to City's loss of focus. This is not the first time this season that Guardiola's team has let a game slip out of their control. If Real fails to win either the Champions League or La Liga, Ancelotti will most likely lose his job. The club's management is already discussing potential replacements, and such a decision might be justified. With the attacking talent at his disposal, the team should dominate their opponents rather than struggle against mid-table La Liga teams. Marcus Rashford is not giving up hope of one day playing for Barcelona. During the winter transfer window, he was strongly linked with a move to Catalonia, and it seemed like he could be an exciting addition to the Blaugrana squad. Moreover, Manchester United was willing to let him go on loan for free, requiring only that his wages be covered for 6 months. However, this is where the main problem arose. Despite the reinstatement of the 1-1 rule, Barcelona is still exceeding its salary cap. Rashford's wages were deemed disproportionate to his potential contribution to the team. As a result, the club simply walked away from the deal, and Marcus ended up at Aston Villa instead. Nevertheless, the Englishman has not lost hope of catching Barcelona's attention once again. According to British media reports, he aims to use his loan spell at Villa as an opportunity to regain his form and prove he is worthy of a move to Barca. A source from The Sun claims that Rashford is confident that if he performs at a high level, Barcelona will reconsider signing him. This is a huge motivation for him and great news for Aston Villa. Now he just needs to get on the pitch and start scoring goals. British press quotes an insider. That statement makes it sound like scoring goals is the easiest thing in the world. Just step onto the pitch, put your foot out, and the ball will find the net on its own. Of course, it's far more complicated than that, but Rashford clearly won't be lacking motivation now. Another defeat for Manchester United has pushed the team even lower in the Premier League standings. 15th place, a reality that is hard to believe. This time, the team's downfall came at the hands of Tottenham, who secured a 1-0 victory over the Red Devils. Interestingly, this is the first season in history where Spurs have beaten United twice. The situation at the club is becoming increasingly concerning, and trust in Ruben Amorim is slowly but surely fading. However, the manager remains resilient, deflecting questions about his future. I understand what it means to work at a big club. You're always under pressure and at risk. But what worries me more is losing matches, not the possibility of being sacked. That's the hardest part of my job. I just want to win, Mirror quotes Amorim. The logic is simple. Win and stay, lose and leave. So far, Amorim is losing, and losing a lot. It's ironic because when Erik ten Hag was in charge, many thought things couldn't get worse. But as it turns out, they could. Yes, Amorim inherited a problematic squad, but are Fulham or Brighton really better on paper? Clearly, United is capable of playing at a higher level, but the Portuguese coach has yet to build an effective system. I'm not worried about my future. I'm here to help the team. Of course, our current position in the table is concerning, but I believe in my work, and I just want to win. BBC quotes Amorim. The manager keeps repeating the same message, but the reality is this. If United continues losing, his dismissal will be inevitable. One can blame the mess left by Ten Hag or the chaos at the club, but the club's quiet winter transfer window speaks for itself. The team desperately needs reinforcements, yet no significant signings were made in January. One could assume that the board simply does not trust Amorim's project and has decided not to waste more money until the situation becomes clearer. And that makes sense. If United finishes outside the top 10, there will be no reason to allocate hundreds of millions for a manager who has failed. The situation surrounding Mohamed Salah's future has taken a dramatic turn in recent days. Since the start of the season, rumors have suggested that the Egyptian star was on the verge of leaving Liverpool, set to sign one final big contract in his career, most likely in Saudi Arabia. But now, things seem to be heading towards an unexpected twist. The first warning sign came from the head of the Saudi Pro League, who hinted that negotiations with Salah might not be entirely genuine. We want Salah in our league, that's no secret, but it feels like we're simply being used in contract talks. There are fewer and fewer signs from his side that he is seriously considering the move. Liverpool is on the rise, and he is once again showing the level of performance he displayed 5 years ago. Sounds intriguing, doesn't it? A statement like this doesn't come lightly from a person directly involved in developing Saudi football. Does this mean that Salah never truly intended to leave? Then came another inside report, which fits perfectly with the words of the Saudi representative. According to sources, Salah has reconsidered his decision and now plans to extend his contract with Liverpool. The main reason? His trust in Arne Slot and the manager's vision for the team. The Egyptian star believes in Liverpool's future and wants to remain a key part of the project. But this raises a big question. What about his previous claims that this would be his final season at Liverpool? And what about his reported desire to sign a 3-year deal with a Saudi club? So far, there are no clear answers, but one thing is certain. Salah has always left room for maneuvering. He never made absolute statements, but rather subtly hinted that he had multiple options. Of course, all of this remains unconfirmed, and there is no official announcement of a contract extension yet. However, hope is growing that Salah will stay in Europe. So perhaps Saudi millions will have to wait. The Egyptian king is not done ruling in England just yet. That's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video, and be sure to watch our previous video. It just appeared before your eyes right now. See you. Good luck to everyone. Goodbye.